Joining us now to talk about the TSA's approach to airline security and the recent FAA troubles with air traffic controllers is Florida Congressman John Mica, chairman of the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. Welcome to Newsmax, sir.
Thank you. Good to be with you.
First, the controversy over air traffic controllers falling asleep on overnight shifts. The FAA's air traffic control chief has resigned over it, and the FAA is adding additional controllers to overnight shifts at 27 airports. You have an issue with that. What is it?
Well, again, I can only think of the federal government doubling up on $163,000 a year average salary employee when one or two fall asleep at the job. So it just doesn't make any sense also to schedule two employees when there's no air traffic in the middle of the night. So they can do a better job of scheduling, and if heads have to roll at FAA, so be it. If we've got to do a better job in performance and managing that performance of our air traffic controllers, we're going to have to do that too.
At the airport in New Orleans recently, a 6-year-old girl was patted down by a TSA official over objections of her mother. Now, your colleague from Utah, Jason Chavitz, is sponsoring a bill that would prohibit TSA from conducting pat-downs on minors without the consent of a parent. What do you think of that?
Well, first of all, I think TSA is an agency that's spun out of control. It should be focused on a very narrow number of people who pose a threat. And then I think that the agency has to start being a thinking agency, actually get out of the screening business and get into the security and intelligence business where they can be most effective. Screening success and the pat down, even the new advanced technology imaging systems have very, very poor performance results. So,
you mean even with the naked body scanners and the virtual groping on these enhanced pat downs, it has poor results?
Well, in December I tested the new technology. In January I tested the new pat downs. I can tell you that the results was dismal, that neither of these are effective. But that makes me even more determined to get them out of the routine screening business and into the security business. They should be looking for, again, a limited number of people who pose a threat. They should be subject to thorough examination. You should have some people online who can the behavior detection program is a complete failure, and we need to be training people to be looking for bad guys and have technology and intelligence that help us get those folks even before they get to the gate.
Is it true that the TSA tried profiling along the lines of the screening that the Israeli airline El Al uses, but screwed it up?
Well, TSA has taken what the Israelis do and messed it up. Unfortunately, I was an advocate of using, again, behavior, not profile by race or other ethnic measures, but by behavior. And other agencies do this successfully, but TSA has hired 3,300 additional people at $250 million cost. Also had that program evaluated, and the public results which have been disclosed is that that's a failure too. So they've taken systems and even with more personnel and more money, their performance is not acceptable.
Columnist Byron York quoted you as saying last November that TSA relies more on passenger humiliation than on practices that are proven staples of airport security. Please explain what you mean by that.
Well, again, we're shaking down little old ladies, we're shaking down military, patting down children who don't pose a risk. For goodness sakes, we should be able to put people out there who can make a better determination of who to go after, and we should have the information. It should be embedded in the ticket. These systems have been around. I've seen them tested and actually operating in other countries. Instead, they've created a huge 63,000 person army with 3,700 administrators in Washington, D.C., making on average $105,000 apiece. The system absolutely cries out for reform.
Also, you wrote last fall to the heads of over 150 airports nationwide suggesting they opt out of TSA screening. But then we heard later TSA refused to let airports hire private screening firms, although that is allowed under the law that created TSA, as you note. What's the latest in all of that?
Well, I wrote the law and we allowed private screening under federal supervision and had 5 demonstration airports. We put them in place. Then we tested the all-federal against the federal supervision with private screening. The model with the private screening under federal supervision performed, again, not my evaluation, but GAO said they performed statistically significantly better. So why would you pay more to get less performance? And performance is what it's all about, detecting threats and problems. So I'm an advocate of changing out. The only countries in the West that are left with all government models of screening like the United States has are Bulgaria, Romania, and Poland.
Florida U.S. Representative John Mica, thanks so much, sir. Appreciate it.
Good to be with you.